The secret I thought was buried at the bottom of the ocean returned as whispers in the town's most remote tavern. The time for hiding is over. 20 years. 20 long years I lived like a ghost in this misty port town, in that old shack nestled among the jagged rocks. I wasn't Adrian Dean anymore. I was just old Silas, the man who repaired cracked hulls, spoke little, and had no past. My neighbors thought the tremor in my hands was from old age, but that tremor was a phantom memory of a heavy cutlass and the scent of black powder I'd left behind 2 decades ago. It all began last Tuesday night, at the Broken Rudder Tavern. I was sitting at my corner table, sipping cheap rum, when I noticed 3 strangers walk in. They weren't locals. The youngest stood under the dusty lamp at the bar and asked the innkeeper a question. His voice wavered, but the words reached my table like a cannonball. We heard the man carrying the final seal of the Silver Dawn Council was seen around here. The shadows themselves, not the kingdom, are promising gold for his head. In that moment I felt the old savage sea monster within me wake up. The Silver Dawn Council. We weren't just a band of pirates. We were the 7 who wrote the laws of the ocean. My 6 brothers in arms had been swallowed by the waves 20 years ago during that dark betrayal. I was the only survivor. The seal was right beneath the deep scar on my chest. When the strangers stepped out, I followed them into the heart of the storm. As they turned onto the path leading toward my shack, Silas was already dead. Adrian Dean had returned. They kicked the door open when they reached my cabin. Inside they found no trembling old man, but 2 steel-gray eyes glowing in the darkness, and an ancient pirate cutlass resting on the table, still stained with dried blood. The young one drew his sword. "Surrender, old man, the council is dead." I smiled. "The council is dead, yes," I said, my voice carrying the old thunder. "But the last member still draws breath. And the ocean has a rule, lad. When the storm dies down, the sea becomes still. But the depths are still there. And you've dived too deep." That night, I was the only one who walked out of that shack. But I knew these 3 amateurs were just the beginning. Somewhere an old enemy, Iron Admiral Malphas, was still alive, and I had been compromised. Now, to protect this small town, I had to set sail again in my mind. War had arrived at my doorstep, 20 years late,